Hello and very warm welcome to all of you in this edition of Public Forum. India's move of demonetization seems more as a move forward to go digital than getting the black money out from the holders, as the discourse has been changed now and they get maximum people in the ambit of the banking system. But the fear of losing one's money digitally is still causing a roadblock to many people. After November 8 declaration of banning high denomination notes, digital payments jumped manifold across the country, both in terms of volume and the amount of money transacted. The figures released by the Niti Aayog in the 1 month period ended December 7, as many as 16 lakh transactions were recorded through the RuPay cards, up from just around 3.8 lakh transactions recorded till the November 8. The number of e-wallet transactions shot up to 63 lakhs from 17 lakhs during the same period of time, while cards transactions through the point of sale, which is called POS, swipe machines almost double to up to 98 lakhs from around 50 lakhs. But there are concerns. There are cases of digital frauds coming from different parts of the country. The entire success of going digital will depend largely on how the battle between the bankers and the hackers plays out. Bankers must upgrade and fortify their cyber defenses as hackers attempt to steal money from bank accounts or clone one's credit or debit cards and go on the shopping spree. When the easiest way to buy anything from eateries to automobiles is to use the mobile wallet, a few clicks of the mouse are all that is required to rob your money. Is it traceable or not? We would be discussing in this edition of Public Forum. I have been joined by one guest. He is Dr. Ram Upendra Das. He is a professor, research and information system for developing countries. Very welcome, a warm welcome to all of you, Mr. Ram Upendra Das. My first concern is about that 80% of the transaction in India, the government wants to move to digitally. But the first question comes about the safety manuals. Is India's banking system foolproof enough to protect one's money in the account?
See, there are two aspects. Now that this has been announced that what is being done, we have to understand that this is a major decision, but the two challenges that have remained, and those are the areas where you have to take policy initiatives, are one is the availability of digital infrastructure. Right. On the one hand, because still bandwidth and other internet related facilities are not to that extent available in my view, and we have to do a lot of work on that. And second aspect is cyber security or digital security.
Right.
So when you ask this question of digital security, actually,
first you're talking about the penetration of the mobile connectivity, the internet in the remote areas.
Exactly.
And second, about the people who are using it, the safety manuals of those people.
Exactly.
Okay.
So these are two different dimensions. Okay. One is the infrastructure which facilitates digital interactions and transactions. That is one. Second is the digital security or cyber security. And when you combine these two, I think that is what is the way forward. If you see some of the recent initiatives and pronouncements by the Government of India, whereby Aadhaar enabled payment system, which is called AEPS, is now going to be adopted, and very soon a mobile app is going to be used by people, whereby your Aadhaar card, which is actually linked to bank account, will enable your transaction at a point of sale. Now this works in a variety of ways. One is that you have to, number one, most people should have Aadhaar card. That is point number one.
Right.
A large success has been made because Aadhaar is something so very wonderful, because it is an identification through biometrics, and therefore one identity number is only for one person.
Okay.
So this is something which is remarkable. Second step is that getting linked to the banking system.
Okay.
And then third is, even if people do not have, say, internet connectivity, or in terms of security, the major issue that you have highlighted, there are biometric machines that can be plugged into a smartphone, which makes the smartphone a point of sale. And all you have to do is to just key in your Aadhaar number and you make the payment. You are not exposing your bank account details. So Aadhaar number itself can enable transactions through your smartphone, and
but one gets to know your Aadhaar number. Is it?
It is all right. Aadhaar numbers should be made public. I mean, this is a unique, because there is no other Aadhaar number allotted to anybody else, because it is biometric based. And that is why, if Aadhaar number is known to anyone, it is fine. There is no problem with that.
But how will the money go into the merchant's account?
So the first is that more people should have Aadhaar, and a large success has been achieved. Second is, more and more Aadhaar card should be linked to bank accounts.
Right.
Now, when you are actually making the transaction, you are only exposing your Aadhaar number. And because the card is linked to your bank account, it is through Aadhaar that the transaction actually goes from bank to another point of whatever recipient.
Okay.
Now, in this case, you are not revealing your bank account details. So this is a wonderful, what they call is as unified payment interface, UPI, whereby your Aadhaar linked bank account
details
actually gives you flexibility to transact, but there are various steps, as I mentioned. First, most people should have Aadhaar. Second, most people should have their Aadhaar linked to bank account. And then third is what is being done today with smartphones. There are a lot of people who do not have smartphones. They have only featured phones.
Right.
Now, feature phone, that is a different aspect, but there are new technologies like Paytm, as they say, they are actually coming up with new facilities, whereby even through featured phones, you can have transactions via Paytm.
Okay. Okay, but there is one concern about that. First of all, you have to be the people who are using it, especially they are using the mobile app, the payment through mobile apps, or the Paytm wallets or the e-wallets. One has to first transfer money from the bank account to the e-wallets and then make the purchase. But it is a very cumbersome process. You have to learn the OTPs, the password, and the security questions and the answer. What can be the safest way of easiest way of doing the transaction?
See, the big amounts, in any case, the safest transaction is through electronic clearance system, ECS.
ECS, okay.
Where it is simply you instruct your bank, and from bank to bank there is a transaction. This is the safest. Second is the check, and check would be the most important way of doing something which is actually very secured, and it provides flexibility. You know who is doing what.
Okay.
As far as retail transactions are concerned, I think the amounts are not too big where retail transactions actually happen. So there is a limit to, say, for instance, say in Paytm transactions, and you only are doing retail transactions.
Okay.
So you are not actually exposing large sums to the digital space. So
okay. And I've been joined by my Marbo guest, Mr. Mukesh Mohan Gupta. He's a chartered accountant and president, Chamber of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Very warm welcome, Mr. Mukesh Mohan Gupta. My first question about the government wants, especially the Niti Aayog wants that India, 80% of the transaction in India moves to the digital only platform in a strict timeline. First question comes out of the safety manuals, and then is Indian banking system safe enough to have the money and going digital? One can rely on this kind of a system.
No, definitely. I'm quite confident. See, I had been on the board of a bank also, a public sector bank, and I am quite confident that the security system in the banking is quite good, in fact, and we definitely can rely on those things. And this is the reason why the bankers give, in fact, one type of insurance and guarantee also, that whenever you use your debit card, credit card, so if any transaction which is not authorized by you is done, so banks, I suppose, give the credit to them. But see, another issue is that the user also have to be little cautious. Like there have been lot of advertisement, lot of things have been told by the bankers, by various government agencies, that to educate the people, in fact, that you have to you cannot part with your PIN number, your debit card number, your other bank's details. So you have to be very secured about those things. So we ourselves also have to take care of those things, But as far as banking security system is concerned, I am quite confident that there is no issue as far as the security is concerned.
But there have been news recently, the splurge of news from different parts of the country about the frauds and the taking away money from your e-wallets or from your bank account. There have been cases which is increasing.
See, there are, you're right, there are hackers in fact, but it happens in fact in whatever security mode we have. Like I told in one of your programs that there have been manually also that the murder of the Prime Minister in fact in our own house in fact with all the security intact.
Right,
so
right,
there may be some 1 or 2 instances in fact, but otherwise the security is foolproof. But still we have seen many examples like some Twitter accounts were hacked, or some debit cards were hacked in fact in the particularly in State Bank of India recently. But there are very few examples of those types, but overall the security measures are good.
Okay,
and it's a continuous process.
Okay.
It's a continuous process. So whatever loopholes are there, I suppose the banks and the agencies which provide these security systems, they are taking the steps in fact to again strengthen that.
Okay, my question comes that if I'm using the digital payment since last couple of years, let's say, SMS comes for about your deduction and the credit into your account. SMS receives by a person and says, okay, some amount has been deducted from your account. Is it irreversible in terms that if you have not made any payment and any fraud or any hackers have done that, something very wrong, and the money goes fraudulently from one account to the merchant site, and then product is given to the fraud person as well. The culprit is catchable or not? The money can be retrieved.
See, it depends on case to case, but I'll tell you one thing, that direct this SMS doesn't comes to you. Whenever you use any of the mode in fact for the digital payment, you are required to confirm the OTP, because the OTP comes to you. And then you have to confirm that OTP. Only when you confirm that OTP, only then the amount is deducted from your account. Not that so not that directly something is. So you have to link your mobile number correctly, and whenever any OTP comes, you have to be cautious. Suppose you have not done any transaction, as some OTP comes, you have to immediately report it to your bank, and they will definitely stop that payment. So OTP is very important, and now you might have seen the debit card, credit card, everything has a special chip card, that PIN number is also required for that. So a lot of security measures are already taken.
But there are cases of cloning your debit cards and credit cards and then take away the money, and they can make some transaction. Most of the people in India are not using the mobile based apps. They must be having non-featured phones and would be making the payment or would learning to make the payment in terms of using Aadhaar number or some PAN numbers. How can they be cautious, and what should they be doing?
No, now see, you might have seen that the use of smart mobile phone is not mandatory for this digital transaction. Like UPI is there, you can *99#. So any normal phone user can also do the digital transaction. So that now it is not mandatory that you have that for some transaction, like e-wallet is there, or some transaction you have to have that smartphone with you. But I suppose with the normal phone also now we can do the transaction, and through the your channel, in fact, I'd like to share that many organizations are now doing these digital training type of thing, or digital classes in fact. I am also coming from one of the digital class where the SIDBI has also tied up with our chambers. And we are giving the training in fact in various industrial clusters, and I am happy to share with you that the people are they are ready to learn, and they are eager to learn, because what happens in fact, whenever we keep the cash in our purse, so there may be any instance. So this thief and everything, like you are telling that this risk is there as far as the digital payment is. But I'll say, if you keep the cash in your pocket, then also something can happen.
There is a risk.
Yeah, pickpocketing can be there. So even in case of when you do the digital payments, and when you have a telephone with you and you want to do the payment through the phone, and suppose your phone is stolen by somebody, at least you are sure that your money which is kept in the bank is not lost, in fact, that is intact in your bank. So there are a lot of benefits also out of the digital payment.
But there are cases in the worldwide. I was going through some research that here the nationality is not very important. A person from other countries can steal away your money, can hack your account and then take away the money. So it would be very difficult on the part of the Indian establishment, Indian security system to nab that culprit, and that going digital have their own consequences and their own disadvantage as well.
No, that is true. That is true. So I suppose we are not perfectly all right as far as the security is concerned, because you know there are many countries like China we are doubting, in fact. So there may be many hackers over there. So they may be doing some trial, and so we have to be very cautious. And I am of the opinion that there are definitely going to be number of cases of these type of hacking. So we have to be very careful.
Okay, your comment on the Indian cyber law. I mean, to how to deal with this kind of frauds if as the numbers are rising. Indian cyber law is enable enough to check the wrongdoings of these people?
I mean, there have been many improvements, but as you know, technology is something which is changing, I mean, very fast. So that is why in the beginning I mentioned this, that I think cyber security is something which is going to be a very important aspect of this entire discourse as well as entire implementation. And in that, I think regulatory features of our existing cyber laws, I mean, right now they do have important provisions where you can catch people, you can track IP addresses, and you can catch the fraudsters. But at the same time, I think because of the innovation which leapfrog in the minds of those who want to do negative, we have to be ahead of the curve always.
Okay.
But having said that, yes, it's a major challenge and we will have to pull up our socks on this, and we should be always ahead of time. Having said that, even in terms of cash or assets like gold and jewelry, etc., everybody used to have some security system. You used to have faith in the banking lockers, and then you just leave it. I mean, but technically, hypothetically, security breaches even in those domains are always possible. So I think this possibility cannot be ruled out, but at the same time, yes, we have to be very cautious to be equipped, and I think intelligence sharing at the level I mean, at the micro level, which actually feeds into the macro level, and the interface across different agencies, both domestically and internationally, would be a very important aspect of it. And India perhaps now realizes that it can play an important role even in terms of contributing to evolving and firming up the global cyber security law.
Okay, fair enough. But what has been your understanding, Mr. Gupta? I mean, when you're dealing with the common man, are they worried? I mean, especially a person is worried about the losing money digitally, of any hackers and the fraud can take away the money. Is there a fear? Because I have met a couple of the people who said, okay, digital money can go anytime and anywhere, and it is untraceable.
No, you are 100% right. So at the ground level, I suppose, see, when we ask that, do you know what is digitalization? You will be surprised that out of 200 people, only 2 or 3 are just raise their hands.
Okay.
We know what is the digital. And this was the question, in fact, out of those people, they asked that suppose our phone is stolen by somebody, our entire money will go. So that is the issue. So we all have to educate our people, our staff, whenever we can do. So we have to. But yeah, I agree with him that I suppose there's hackers and those people who are into these negative things, they are far ahead of us, in fact, as far as the security system is concerned.
Do you believe that the real reason of the India's banking system is to have a kind of a foolproof system against these hackers? The attack of these hackers would be a challenge to the Indian bankers.
No, I will not say that it will be a challenge, but yes, we have to be very cautious, in fact. That is very important. I will not say it is a challenge, in fact. So we see, bankers are not the IT company.
Right.
See, what happens in this case, bankers doesn't do themselves, in fact. They have to take the support of these IT companies for these security system, in fact. So bankers alone cannot, bankers are not the IT companies. So these IT companies again are doing regularly, they are updating themselves. They are trying their best, in fact. And so I'll not say it's a challenge, but I'll say that yes, definitely some fear will be there.
Look at the numbers. I mean, there are several banks. Every bank is coming out with their own mobile app, with their own e-wallets. Approximately more than 50 e-wallets have come into the market in the 1 month time. And most of them are saying they are very safe, they are very convenient, they are giving this benefits and that. Who to trust and who to not to trust? There should not be a one or two joint platform to amalgamate all those e-wallets, and it would be convenient for the common person.
I suppose just you have to wait for just another 15-20 days and your dream will come true.
Okay.
It is going to, it is going to happen. In fact, it's a very important question you have asked, but it is going to happen very soon. I suppose I had discussed with some of the wallets, in fact. So they are already ready with these type of, so suppose that your question is, suppose I go to one merchant and I have X wallet in my mobile, and he is not registered with that mobile. So what to do, in fact? Either he has to download that wallet which I have, or I have to download that wallet which he has.
Okay.
I suppose now the app are coming very soon, in fact, by most of the wallets, where this problem will be over. Then one app will be able to transfer not only from a wallet, in fact it will be able to transfer, and I suppose that POS machines are very important nowadays, and there is a lot of shortage of POS machines.
Right.
But I am quite confident that in another 5 to 6 months these POS machines will be out of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am quite confident. So
and it will be
after
replaced by
discussing with lot of technology people, in fact,
it will be replaced by the smartphones or what?
By the phone. Your phone will have everything, in fact, whatever you can think of. So what will happen, in fact, suppose I go to a merchant, I have a debit card, so I need not to
insert that.
Nothing. I suppose nothing will be required. So everything will be, suppose I want to make the payment, so that one common app will be there, and it will ask from me how you want to make the payment.
Okay.
You want to make the payment through the wallet. So wallet, so these are the wallet, which wallet you want to make the payment. You want to transfer the funds from your bank account. So your bank accounts will also be available in your that app. If you want to make the payment from the debit card, credit card, but again the problem is that RBI and government are also concerned as you are, or we all are as a consumer, in fact. So they are, before allowing this thing, they are just considering all these security issues, because if you have in your phone all your bank accounts, all your debit card, all your credit card, all your wallet, so then the security is slightly will be difficult.
One more thing. Government and RBI seems going trial by error. And they learn something and they develop something. Even that the government is changing the rules as per the demands and the things are coming on. Do you think that it will have an adverse impact on the confidence of the people who are going digital?
No, see, I suppose you are talking about the change of the policies about the demonetization. I suppose
change
you are
referring to demonetization.
Demonetization. See, I'll say one thing. See, demonetization is, I suppose, in my lifetime, I don't remember that once. I suppose it happened. In fact, that would be, I suppose it was 5,000 to 10,000.
Right.
So perhaps I have not seen that note, in fact. So we all are, so in our lifetime, I suppose it's a one-time event, and maybe that the agencies, the RBI and the government, perhaps they were also not fully aware of all the issues, in fact. So they are trying to. But ultimately, I can assure you, and I can assure the viewer of your channel, that ultimately it is going to be a very good thing for the Indian economy and for the general public. As regards general public, because our taxation will be reduced.
Okay.
These funds will be utilized for the infrastructure development. So a lot of infrastructure will be there. There may be some problem as far as the employment is concerned. But I suppose in long term, because of the infrastructure and other things, there will be lot of employment will be generated, rate of interest will be reduced, so the prices will be reduced. I suppose, so like initial stage, there may be some issues in the real estate sector, but ultimately if the prices will be reduced, so the common man will also be able to purchase the house, in fact, for them.
One final comment from both of you. I mean, as the government is saying and trying to, especially Niti Aayog wants that 18% of the transaction in India moves to digital only platform in a strict timeline. Is it achievable? Your comment.
It is achievable. and it is also safe. I mean, because you
When I
were
talk
very
about the strict timeline, it means a couple of months or probably a year or two.
that is I think it is achievable, because because already lot of people may not see this planning, because today it is appearing as if it's a chaos, but a lot of planning now is being done, and very soon you will see the fruits of it. But just one final point in terms of cash and digital payments, the comparison. If cash actually is stolen from X to Y place, there is no guarantee that you will have a trail, who has done it, where it has gone.
Okay.
But in digital world,
You
the
have a trail.
most important asset of digital world is that you have a trail. You have a trail, even if it has an international dimension.
And the
And
possibility
that
of
can
getting
be
that money back.
tracked. Yes, it can be tracked.
Okay, it can be tracked. My question to you about the 80% of going digital only platform in a strict timeline is achievable or not?
So I don't know whether I have the authority to comment on this point or no, because it's very difficult. See, when the government has set some timeline, they might have done a lot of study. But I can assure you one thing, and I can also give you one another data. See, from 8th of November, when this digitization has been done, in fact, there has been increase of 200% to 300%, and even more, some 317% in these digital transaction. So people are moving towards the digital transaction. We can just hope for the best. In fact, there are a lot of challenges. I agree. In fact, because see, we are sitting in Delhi, so there are a lot of challenges in the rural part also. So, but yes, government, and then Niti Aayog has come up with some good schemes also, price up to 1 crore rupees.
Exactly.
So people will definitely be inclined to do the digital transaction.
Okay, let's hope for the best that India goes 18% digital. Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta, and thank you very much, Mr. Das. So, as people say that going digital means less money. After all, you have to be very cautious going digital. After all, it's your money. You have to be cautious about this. Treat your smartphone as a bank. Enable 2 factors authentication as suggested by expert. Avoid sending financial and personal information by emails and to anyone, and learn the safety manuals by the banks and the e-wallets company. After all, that's a matter of your hard-earned money. And that's all we have in this edition of Public Forum.